Well, greetings, fellow chamber members. My name is Mike Varner. I'm with Kruger Lawton CPAs, and I had the honor of being the chair of the 2020 board for the Goshen Chamber. I'd like to welcome you all to our 2020 annual meeting. I'd like to start off thanking some members and sponsors in this meeting, and we'll get rolling here. But I really appreciate your attendance, and thank you for viewing this. Starting with our Diamond Sustaining sponsors, we have Goshen Health, Ancon Construction, Elkhart County Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Community Foundation of Elkhart County, and the City of Goshen. So I want to thank those Diamond Sustaining sponsors. Next up, we have our Platinum Sustaining sponsors, and those are First Source Bank, DJ Construction, Everence Financial, Goshen College, Greencroft Retirement Communities, Intera Credit Union, Mapletronics Computers, Master Brand Cabinets, and Sword Dodge. I want to also thank all the gold members that are listed in your program that you should have received via email. So again, thank you to all of our sponsors. I'd also like to thank the sponsors for today's event. It's through their generosity that we're able to put on this program every year. And starting with our presenting sponsors, those are Goshen Health, Cintier Bank, and the Community Foundation of Elkhart County. Next, our virtual presentation sponsor is Intera Credit Union. Award sponsors, Lake City Bank. Technology sponsor is Vala Marketing and iDart Creative Studios. Our luncheon sponsors, Everett's Financial and New Way Construction. Moving on, our corporate sponsors, Kruger Lawton CPAs, Master Brand Cabinets, Miller's Building Supply, Northwest Bank, and Yoder, Ainley, Ulmer, and Buckingham, LLP. Our business sponsors, First Source Bank, Greencroft Retirement Communities, RSM, Salem Insurance Agency, and the O. So again, thank you to those sponsors that are sponsoring today's event. And again, thank you for attending this virtual meeting for our annual meeting. We also want to just take a moment and thank our vendors that really helped us as we made the transition from an in-person event to this virtual event. They were very flexible, helped us out in several ways, in many ways, to pull this off effectively. So those are Das Dutchman Essen House, Maple City Chapel, Sign Tech Sign Services, and Maple Leaf Printing. So again, normally we'd have a huge round of applause. So please, we do sincerely thank you for helping us through this. We're here today to celebrate our members, our chamber, recognize some great individuals and organizations for their contributions to our community. Now I'd like to turn it over to our fearless president and CEO, or I'll call him now Mr. Zoom, Nick Kiefer. Nick's done a terrific job this year with continuing the engagement with all of our members, making connections with members to other members that need help with various things. And of course, keeping our board of directors engaged and informed on all of the chamber activities during 2020. So I had, I'll never forget, I had a coffee with Nick Kiefer and John Place. I think it was the fall of 2019 to discuss me being the chair for 2020, and certainly never thought 2020 would be what it has been. But I'm grateful for the conversation with them and the continued support of all of our board, which we'll introduce later. So now I'd like to turn it over to Nick Kiefer.
Thanks, Mike. This is the part where we would recognize several businesses and community leaders in the program. Our volunteers, board, and staff struggled with how do we single out a few businesses in the year 2020. If there was ever a time one could convince me that participation trophies were a good thing, this would be the year to do it. We have one award recipient that we will recognize, and we'll get to that just in a minute. 2020, where to begin? I think I'll start with a quote from a Greek philosopher, Heraclitus. Change is the only thing constant in life. In searching for words today, that sums up 2020 in the business world, I believe. Both in my schooling and my career so far, when describing business, market trends, and so much more, the words disruption, shifts, and change have always been brought up throughout and discussed as I've gone on. Some of you know this, some of you don't. My prior career, I was in college athletics. No, not as an athlete, but in the marketing department. I served as a graduate assistant at IPFW. Long story short, through some strange circumstances, I found myself as the director of operations and assistant basketball coach for a half a season for the program. This was just a couple years after they went Division I, a few years before they beat IU twice, 2 years in a row. Sorry, IU fans. But I digress a little bit. Anyways, my new boss, Coach Pachota, we're sitting on a plane ride to Utah, and he says, trying to get me up to speed, and he looks at me and he says, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Coach, I'm a businessman. My background's in business and marketing and communications, not basketball X's and O's." And he quickly responded with, "That's not a problem." I said, "I don't understand." And he said, "Keith, I teach all my players basic business lessons: analyze, adapt, overcome. We have to do it as coaches. We have to do it as players and throughout the season. And I'm pretty sure businesses do that on a daily basis." I think that's pretty fitting for today. Analyze, adapt, overcome the disruptions, shifts, and change. We've all done that this year, and we've done it as a community. And it's been said today that the Chamber year was different. It has been different. A lot of things have changed. You see us virtually this year. I think that only strengthened, though, our commitment to each other as a business community. We've had to rely and rallied around each other throughout the year for our community and even for our state. The number of businesses that shifted and changed productions to provide PPE and to healthcare professionals and hospitals, or the businesses that stepped up and supported the many nonprofit initiatives that helped our community members that needed it the most. Chamber members gathering for Sound of the Economy each month to talk about what's going on in their industries and in their business sectors. We're gathering to share best practices on how to keep their employees and workplaces safe and healthy. Or chamber members sharing their accounting, legal, and financing expertise to members on how to navigate the PPP and the EIDL loans, and so much more. I get asked all the time, what is the Chamber of Commerce? What do you do? Well, I could talk for hours on what I believe the Chamber does and what we do, but I think I just described it in the most simplest of answers. Community. We are the business community. We work together to make Goshen a better place. And I love this quote from President Ronald Reagan. He said, "No community will ever be very much better than its Chamber of Commerce causes it to be." 2020 has made us look at all the disruptions, shifts, changes to analyze, adapt, and overcome. But we've done so as a community and as a chamber. We have a short video clip here that I think defines it even more. A few weeks back, we asked some of our members a question, and their answers have a very common theme throughout: community. Take a listen.
When we changed because we had to, right? COVID turned us from a message that was going outward, encouraging people to visit Elkhart County, right? That's what we were trying to do and impressing on people. But we knew people weren't traveling. And our message then went from an outward communication to really focus to our residents and our partners. And so we were at that point trying to encourage them with messages, right? So we used our corporate brand, "We Believe in Here," and we took that and then we began to share via blog posts. We believe in hospitality. We believe in frontline workers. We believe in teachers, you know. So what we were trying to do is promote a positive message even in the midst of these terrible times. We also tried to share a bit of optimism. So staff came together on a Zoom meeting and we sang the song, "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow." And then we encouraged others to do their own version of it, really just to lift people up and really encourage them that, you know, although during these dark times, we know that tomorrow it will be better. And so we just tried to encourage others through that way. Just a small way to help people be encouraged.
Well, I think I'm stating the obvious here, and that the pandemic has given us a whole new set of challenges to overcome. However, with our strong relationships that we have with our clients and with other people in the community, we've been able to weather the storm. Most of our annual community events have been canceled, postponed, or made it into a virtual event which has made it difficult to have that sense of place this year without that face-to-face interaction with people. However, I'm pleased to note that we are able to follow through on many of our obligations and pledges, and one in particular is Habitat for Humanity. We were able to get together many volunteers from ANCON and provide people to help build 2 houses this year for Habitat. ANCON is very proud to be part of this community, and this community also has a can-do mentality, and this mentality is going to help us get through this pandemic, and we're going to be stronger for it.
Well, as you can imagine, everything has changed at Goshen Health. And so the challenges of responding to the various waves and the various spikes. And so we're filming this around the end of October. So we're in the middle of wave number 2 in our county and our communities. And so everything, all positivity's up, all our capacity is very, very much up, consumed in terms of busyness with the pandemic. But I've been so impressed with our communities and our businesses and everyone in the area, how we've responded to this pandemic. And so we feel like we're an important part of our communities. We make it a better place to live, and we're an important resource. That's the way we look at our mission to the communities. But we've been on the receiving end so significantly during this pandemic in terms of support and assists and just people coming out of the woodwork helping us out. You know, I think of lots of examples of thousands and thousands of masks. People just organized and started making masks for us when you just couldn't get them. Some of our local businesses making masks, making gowns, especially during the shutdown period when you couldn't do your normal operations. People converted to start making gowns. I'm thinking of Nisco and Wheeland Designs and KZRV and so forth, all changed operations to help make products that were very important to us. Donations have been significant. You know, early on, we couldn't get N95s and other personal protective equipment. People were donating things that they had in stock or had another source to get it. The number of donated meals, I want to say we're up to 4,000 donated meals of people taking care of our colleagues while we're taking care of the community, and snacks and things like that. It's been fun with the kids writing notes to our heroes taking care of us, nurses, doctors, housekeepers, all of our colleagues doing a great job. It's been fun seeing the messages written on the sidewalks of support and really just encouragement to our colleagues. It's tough being in healthcare these days because it's a very intense taking care of very critically ill patients, and the amount of responsibilities that our colleagues have taken on, and then feeling very supported by our communities has been just very, very appreciated.
So this year, obviously, uncertainty has become the norm for us, and we are in a great position to be able to be a connector for those who would like us to be a connector. So if donors reach out to us, businesses reach out to us, which we have seen over and over again, where is the greatest need? And so the one place where the Community Foundation has really been helpful from my perspective is to be that door opener, provide a new pathway for our donors and our businesses to connect them to a cause that they care about and how they can help. And likewise, if there's a business that's in need or a nonprofit that's in need, we can then play a matchmaker and pair them with a donor who has that specific interest in mind and provide some resources and income for anybody that has suffered through the pandemic this year. Just from the Community Foundation's perspective, we are very fortunate to work with so many generous individuals. So from our perspective, what we see is the kindness, the goodness, the generosity from everyone. And we're in a seat on the bus that gets to show all of that good that's coming through the COVID pandemic. And so while we know so many people are hurting during this time, we are in a position that can provide a little bit of relief for those that are feeling the pains of COVID. And it's really an awesome opportunity for the Community Foundation to inspire that generosity and help those that are in need.
One of the things that really has changed for many of us is that let's take our business, for instance, just a little bit. We went from serving thousands of users in hundreds of locations to serving thousands of users in thousands of locations because everyone went home and had to distribute everything. The notion of still being able to collaborate, to have meetings, to share information, that's still very important. So that changed the dynamics for many of our clients and what we do and how we deliver services and how we offer those services. Some of the things, as you talked about community, a couple of things really come to mind as the innovation, which is not a new thing for Elkhart County, but it's just fun to watch it happen, how people quickly became very innovative and changed their delivery models very quickly, continued to deliver their services and their products. It was a really great thing. The other thing about community and why I enjoy living here and working here is because it was amazing how many calls I received of just collaborative calls. Hey, this is what we're seeing right now. What are you seeing right now? How are you making changes? How are you doing? Financial type of questions and sharing on information and knowledge about PPP and many other things that people were putting in place. Really, that really makes a big difference. And that's why I think this place is so special.
In one word, describe what the chamber means to you.
Advocacy.
Why so?
Because not only does the chamber advocate for businesses, also advocates for our community.
One thing that we've kind of had to adjust to is, so we've always had a website, but it's never been our main focus. We're just used to, everyone likes to come in store, try things on, try it on. So one thing that we kind of shifted was our main goal was just working on the website. Get everything that we have in store available online so someone who's sitting at home can still shop since, we weren't able to go out. So making sure that everything was online, easy, accessible. One thing that was also really nice was our point of sale system started rolling out new things that made it easier for us, but also for the customers. So doing curbside pickup or even delivery options. So we did a couple deliveries where we packaged up their orders, left it on their porch, so they didn't even have to leave their house and their order was just there. And we're still doing curbside pickup now. A lot of people love that option. Another one, you don't have to really get out of your car if you're not comfortable with it. So making it accessible for anyone and everyone is one big thing that we've really just tried to do. I guess another thing would be with our community. We really wouldn't be here through this without their support. And we get people in a lot saying, we're so glad that you're still here. We're so glad that you're open. And we're like, well, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be. So we are so grateful for the community and everything they do and the chamber, putting our name out there, spreading the word, and just the positive community that we are a part of.
In one word, what does the chamber mean to you?
Resource.
And why so?
Because the chamber is always willing to help.
And why is it important for you to be part of the chamber?
Because our community is diverse and I want to be part of the change.
Yeah, really one of our biggest points of contact throughout this whole experience has been with our nonprofit partners in the community. So there's a lot of ways that they and we in turn have helped stay in touch through them is serving on their boards. That's been a big one where, we get to see what's going on in their organizations, what they're dealing with. And then, we've had projects for a number of those groups throughout the community. So that's helped us stay in touch. And then donating labor and time when we had some resources available that way for maybe smaller projects that they needed just help getting done. So those have been some big ways that we've stayed in touch with our not-for-profit clients. And, and really they are the nonprofit group in Elkhart County it's got to be one of the best groups around anywhere. And, so that's part of the heartbeat really of the community is what they're doing for the kids, for people in need. And so being able to have a lot of involvement with them has been big for us to stay in touch. We have a number of individuals from our company that are part of service groups. So whether it's Rotary or Kiwanis, and granted, there hasn't been a lot of in-person, but there's been a lot of Zoom, and a Zoom call is still better than no call. And so we've at least been able to have some interactions that way. And then, we were talking earlier about it. The chamber golf outing really was kind of one of those where you didn't realize how much you had missed seeing a lot of your business community friends until you actually got to see them all in the same place. And so, the chamber golf outing was awesome. We had a great time. We didn't win. We weren't expecting to, but we had an awesome time. And just, you just see people across the way that you haven't seen in months. And, even if it's just a a quick conversation, is a blast. So those have been some of the ways that we've stayed connected. We'd love to obviously be in person when at all possible, but we understand there's a lot of other thought processes that have to go into making those decisions.
Well, this year has definitely been an eye-opening year for many people. We're going through something that nobody has never expected, and definitely we don't know the proper processes to go through. We're learning that though. And Goshen for a long time has always been a great community, from the business community, the residential community, the government. They come together, we work through issues together, and we get ahead of them. COVID-19 has not been any different. We're still trying to get some people to follow some of the social distancing and wearing masks. But as far as the business community has really stepped up this year, our community in general has stepped up to really take on those tasks that have been created by this pandemic. And I've been overwhelmed by the response that we've received. Earlier in the year, I believe it was late April, several businesses allowed us to use their electronic message boards to help get out the message of what needed to happen during COVID-19. Businesses are stepping up with donations, stepping up and doing a lot of different types of work throughout the year to help out others who are in need. So it's been great to watch and great to be part of.
As I mentioned earlier, we do have someone we'd like to recognize for their effort for the Chamber this year, and we'd like to present them with the Volunteer of the Year Award. Our Volunteer of the Year Award this year is our Ambassador Chair, Michelle Alvarez. Michelle is Assistant Branch Manager at Centir Bank in Goshen. Throughout the year, and as rapidly as our programs and events have changed, Michelle was a glue to our ambassador team that kept everything together and kept our network of ambassadors plugged into our daily operations and what was going on. We sincerely thank Michelle for her efforts. We appreciate her time, her dedication, and her commitment to the Chamber. And when you see Michelle out and about in the community, thank her. Thank her on behalf of the Chamber for the work she did for our members. I'm extremely fortunate to work for a great board of directors, and you should know the Chamber is in great hands with their leadership. With as much change and challenges that these individuals saw in their own careers and industries this year, they still made time and were a tremendous resource and guidance for the Chamber throughout the year. It's my honor to turn the program back over to Mike Varner, your 2020 board chair.
Thanks, Nick. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our 2020 Board of Directors. I'll start with our Executive Committee, and joining me on that committee were Amanda Mansfield, Chair-elect from Master Brand Cabinets, Levi King, Secretary from JoJo's Pretzels, and Casey Yerger, Treasurer from First Source Bank. Also, John Place, who was immediate past board chair from Ancon Construction, and Nick Kiefer, of course, President and CEO of the Chamber. Next, the remaining members of our board were Adriana Garcia Bontrager from Centir Bank, Braxton Cave with Lippert Components, Steve Depew, Arctic Clear Water Products, Julia Fisher, Salon J, Mark King, Greencroft Retirement Communities, Jeff Lund, Yoder, Ainley, Omer, and Buckingham, LLP, Tyler Springer, Springer Designs, Kara Armino, Walmart Superstore, number 1566, Sharon Welsh, FM Stone Commercial, and finally Randy Christoffel with Goshen Health. So a huge thank you to our 2020 Board of Directors. Thanks for all of your input and engagement with our board this past year. Next up, just a couple of 2020 highlights I want to share with you as we move through the program here. First, this is not a fun highlight of the year, but I just recall, meeting with Nick and the mayor and some other folks at the mayor's office on March 12th, which should have been our Founders Day celebration. And we made the tough but the right decision to cancel that event. And I want to just share that was tough on us. That's one of our signature events, and we enjoy getting together with all of you. And we're just hopeful that 2021 we can restore a lot of those events that we've had in person. Next, I want to shout out, I guess, to Nick and the Chamber for very quickly organizing some very, I would say, critical meetings with members, and the opportunity to speak directly, obviously virtually, but speak directly with Senator Young and Congresswoman Walorski. And we've facilitated those discussions with our members and legislators to discuss things such as the PPP loan program and securing PPE items for our businesses. So that was very instrumental and very timely that our chamber was able to do that. A highlight for me for the chamber this year was certainly in August. We were able to have our annual golf outing out at Maple Crest. And it was great to see so many of you and our members out there enjoying the day. We had a beautiful day. We celebrated that outing in a safe manner. I was obviously very socially distanced in the rough while the rest of you were playing in the fairway. But no, seriously, we had a great day, and I really do appreciate that event. Another update, our second floor renovations that we have been kind of going through over the years for the second floor of the building. Those renovations are largely complete, and we're looking at ways that we'll utilize that space for the chamber. Obviously, one of its intentions was a co-working space, kind of a business incubator, if you will. And in this environment, that's a tough thing to pull off from a safety standpoint. But we're going to continue to investigate proper ways to utilize that space. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that in the future. And, while most of our events were, completely virtual in 2020, including this event, Sounds of the Economy discussions were just great. We had record attendance through Zoom. And really had just a great program through the months through Sound of the Economy. Other examples, the Ambassador Committee continued to meet and do great work for the Chamber and the members. And the HR Network, very informative meetings, navigating COVID and things that employers need to look at. The HR Network, some of those meetings that I attended were really wonderful with information sharing back and forth and things to look at. So I really want to encourage you, the members, to take advantage of these programs that the Chamber puts on, whether be it virtual or in person. These are great programs, a lot of great information gatherings and things. Finally, the Leadership Academy. We brought that back. As you know, we mentioned that in last year's annual meeting, that the 2020 class is well underway. There's a great group of current and future business leaders in that group. And, they're significantly emphasis is on leadership skills development for them. And from what I know and hear, it's going great. So thank you for supporting that. And also, I'd encourage you to identify folks on your team that might be a part of the 2021 Leadership Academy or here in the future. So finally, at this time, I want to thank 3 board members who've done tireless work for our chamber, and their time on our board is coming to an end at the end of this year. Those folks are John Place with Ancon Construction, Mark King at Greencroft Retirement Communities, and Tyler Springer, and Braxton Cave from Lippert Components. So I just want to thank them for their years of service for our Goshen Chamber and our business community. Taking time to meet with the Chamber Board and help with various committees and things. I just really appreciate what they've done. And finally, a couple of personal notes from me before I turn this meeting over. You might recall at last year's annual meeting, I kind of went off script and I issued a bit of a challenge to all of us to get involved with a mentoring program at Goshen Community Schools called Drive. And of course, this pandemic has somewhat derailed or delayed this program. So I'd like to encourage you to just support teachers and students in ways that you might be able to in our community. I'm really hopeful in 2021 our schools are essentially back to normal and we're able to safely and effectively return to this in-person mentoring program for our students. Until then, I'd encourage you to join me to pray for our teachers and administrators that are, they're met with some, we all are, but they're met with some very significant challenges as far as educating our students. So, and finally, I'd like to wish all of you and your families a very Merry Christmas. One thing I'm thankful for 2020 is we've had so many more just family meals together at our house around the dinner table, much more so than normal in our busy world, and that's been a true blessing for my family. and hopefully, if that's the case for your family. I'm not sure my kids would agree with that last statement about being a blessing, being around the dinner table so much, but it's been wonderful. So we have a great group of leaders on our board. Our chamber is in a great position to move forward in 2021. And this time, I'd like to introduce you to our 2021 Chamber Board Chair, and that's Casey Yerger with First Source Bank.
Hello, everyone, and let me again welcome you to our virtual annual meeting. Before I begin introducing our 2021 team and 5-year strategic plan, I would like to take a moment to thank Mike Varner, our 2020 Board Chair. If Mike only knew what he was going to inherit in 2020, he may have felt very differently about taking this position. This has been a year of firsts for us all, and it will be a year that will change us forever. Mike, you have helped us stay upbeat with your positive attitude and servant's heart. Thank you for your outstanding leadership, time, and dedication to the Goshen Chamber Board of Directors throughout this year. On behalf of the Goshen Chamber, we would like to present you with a plaque and a roll of golden toilet paper, which is currently on back order, in honoring your time as board chair. Again, thanks for your leadership in 2020. Now, although Mike did an excellent job, I think we should all thank Nick, Jill, and Kathy for their support and dedication to the Chamber during this time as well. They have spent countless hours working with our membership and pivoting to provide them with guidance, as well as shifting our programming to a virtual-only style. Thank you for working hard for all of us this year. As 2021 approaches, I am truly excited to continue to be part of the Goshen Chamber's leadership team for the new year as board chair. As I look at what we have possessed as a community, our greatest resource is all of you. This is proved out through your entrepreneurial spirit, a proven workforce, and a never say die community spirit, a willingness to work for the common good of our community and accomplishing some uncommonly great things. These qualities are well represented in our executive committee and new board members for 2021. Now joining me on the 2021 executive committee are Julia Fisher with Salon J, chair-elect, Adriana Garcia Bontrager with Centier Bank, secretary, Levi King with JoJo's Pretzels, treasurer, Mike Varner with Cruel Lawton CPA, immediate past chair, and Nick Kiefer, chamber president and CEO. Thank you for your continued service to our business community and chamber. Next, I would like to welcome our new board members for 2021. Trevor Robinson of Lippert Components, Ken Hostetler with Everence Financial, Ryan Kring, Ancon Construction, and Kate Lehman, Shirley's Gourmet Popcorn Company. When you see them, thank them for their commitment to our community. I'm looking forward to working with these dynamic leaders as we work together growing Goshen. As we developed our strategic plan for 2021, we had the privilege of working with Shelley Williams of the Indiana Chamber Executive Association to help us shape our vision for the Chamber. In years past, we have focused on the year ahead, although we continue to have initiatives and action items each year. The following items will help guide our decision. There will be 4 areas we will focus our efforts on over the next 5 years. Those are advocate for the future leadership of the Goshen community, connect with all sectors of business leaders as we exemplify inclusion through our people, programs, and partnerships, develop a network of problem solvers to target solutions for economic issues hindering this community, inform businesses and entrepreneurs of the enhanced chamber resources available to guide their growth and sustainability. Over the next couple months, we will hone in on a few tactics under each goal. These will help our efforts be focused and further develop each item for the year to come. As we look forward to 2021, we will need to continue to be flexible and to adjust to changing landscape, but also we want to be optimistic and hopeful that we can get back to the way life was before 2020. Many businesses will have changed their model, and the Chamber will be no different. Look for new opportunities to join events online or in person. No matter how you choose to join us, be an active participant and support the Chamber in its mission to champion our community's business future.
Thank you all for joining us today. We sincerely wish it was in person and could be and share like we normally would, but 2020 just won't allow us. On behalf of Kathy, Jill, and myself at the Chamber, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and look forward to seeing you all in 2021.